Hello guys, this is Adam Shadow, and today I have another exciting piece of technology for you. These things behind me are Shulkerbox filling machines, which basically take items and shulker boxes and put them inside and then again send out those filled boxes. So let's take a closer look. One of the most famous machines of this is this one. This one was designed by Ilmango. It is a very compact and also quite actually old machine, which detects if this hopper has enough items for 2 signal strength here on this redstone line, and then powers this hopper here, which is detected by this observer, which then sends the signal into this piston, which sends a signal to this one, which breaks the box and dispenses a new one. This one seems to be more compact than this one, which was made by Acheron and Excelsior. However, it is actually a bit deceiving because Ilmango never showed that this dispenser is not being filled. So if you run out of the 9 boxes you have here, there's no way to refill it. So you would at least need something like this, like a pipe out of hoppers, for example, here. And it also is 1 block higher than it seems, because here is the repeater. This one is, when you add the pipe, is exactly the same width, but is 1 block shorter, so it's more compact. But it's still not the best in terms of compactness. And that is this one. This one was designed by myself. This one is 2 blocks thinner than this one. These 2 blocks are not there. And it is also 1 block shorter, as you can see. All of these actually have the shulker box on the same height as here, so you can easily compare the sizes. This one, however, is not perfect to me, because it cannot run at the maximum hopper speed. It has to do little breaks every now and then, because if you start filling this up with more than a double chest of items, it will break. It will basically get stuck, because this comparator takes the signal out of this dropper here instead of this hopper, which causes the, and also it is taken by a observer. However, that's almost not a real issue for this machine, since you can, in most cases, you don't fill your boxes always at the maximum speed. For example, if you have this in a storage system, you can't even throw in more than a double chest at once, because your inventory just has 27 plus 9 slots. So yeah, it's not really an issue unless you use this for some sort of extremely fast farm where you need a line of these. Then you need to be careful and control the input. So you basically stop a water stream, for example. It works on pretty much the same principle as Acheron's version. However, instead of sending the signal up through the top, it sends it like this through the bottom. It has to use soul send here. You could also use trapdoor and have an observer like this. And I think the SoulSend version is better, since it's cheaper. Now, these machines only work at hopper speed, so just this one hopper inputs the items, which is about 9,000 items per hour. Which would be great in the past, when we didn't have double speed filters, but now we have them, so we kind of also want to have these things double speed, so so our storage is faster and it's not bottlenecked by this machine. For the first machine that actually could do that was this one. This one was designed by Pala. This one is kind of weird because it's also a sorter, but it also uses the logic from the sorter for the Shulkerbox filling, so it's really weird. It's not like these separate modules. It's kind of joined together, but you cannot split it into two parts even, because it uses the logic, like you can see here, it uses the signal for this, which is not perfect in my opinion. And as you can see, it's pretty large, like it's, I don't know, several times larger than this one, which actually makes it pretty much useless, because the size of it, it's simply easier to build two of these or two of those ones than building this large machine. However, I decided to make a better one, and this was this one here, which you guys saw in the overpowered storage video. Let me take out the rain. This one, however, I later found out is not perfectly reliable. I may have been lucky when I was building it, that I built it in the right spot, but it seems to be kind of related to update order and stuff like that. So it might not always work. It might end up sending items through instead of just full boxes. And it also has the disadvantage, you cannot lock this hopper. So no matter what you do, you cannot lock this one, because it's detected by this observer, which would break the machine if you would try to lock this one. However, this one is already locked, which is quite good. So unlike those machines, it's not trying to pick up items. But generally this is not a big issue, because as you can see down here, you can easily just take a dropper and send signal into it. For example, like this with a repeater, and this will lock this hopper. Here, Palace machine, you can't do this for this hopper, but it's actually done for this one, thankfully. So yeah, you still have this for one, and also here are a bunch of hoppers that are not locked. These two are not locked, and also here you have like 4 of them that are not locked, which is also not great. And this one is actually also not covered. So yeah, it's not really very lag efficient. And this one is also not very reliable. So I decided to make another one. And this is normally the best design that currently exists. I have not found anything comparably compact or reliable to this one. This works basically on the same way as this one. However, here it takes the signal from the bottom dropper here. This is just for demonstration. I will show you later that this always works. And what it does, it basically stops this clock here, which is a 4 game tick clock from by 2 observers. You can see on these arrows, which is powering this dropper. If you want to power this, if you have it like this, it's not a huge deal. You can put the you can make it, for example, like this, sideways. And there are a couple ways how to power this. If you for and here it retracts this piston, therefore the clock is stopped. Then the signal does this logic here, like I showed previously. Basically extend this piston, and then it activates this dispenser, and I have it currently extended. Yeah, oh, okay, that's fine. You want to have this down here if it's empty, but I have it filled, so okay. And then you need another short pulse to reset this clock back to work, and this one is done through this part here. It has to be a lot of delay. I actually tried removing these 2 observers here, but it was not perfectly reliable. So you kind of need this in this kind of configuration. You might want to try it, removing some of them if it works reliably for you, but for me it does not. And as you can see, this is just the same thing, these 5 blocks, but 3 blocks added to the side, and it's also 1 block taller, which is, well, actually probably worth it, building one of these instead of 2 of these smaller ones. And of course these double speed ones have also this issue that they you have to have breaks in between when you want to run it. Both of these actually. It's, like I said, not a big issue. Now I want to show you how to build these 2, this smaller one and this faster one. They are all one wide tileable, so you can just build one next to the other. Okay, so let's say you know the position where you want to place the hopper and the shulkerbox above. Now you place a block that just represents the shulkerbox. Now piston, sticky piston, dropper, and dispenser, and of course observers. Now it has to face into this block, which will later be the shulker box. Oh, that was actually not perfect. This. Now we want to take, for example, a dropper to block this. So so it doesn't move, and place 2 observers like that. And now just add this block and you are done. You can pretty nicely hear the machine going off. And now for this one, okay, let's build it again a bit offset. Soul sand. Here we have the observer. These things are generally very easy to build since they are very compact. I hate to not have reach enabled. It's a bit tricky to hold shift and place the blocks at the same time since I'm flying, so it's moving me downwards. Now we place here this comparator. Yeah, and this is it. Now a bit more about the usability, especially of this one. If we count this, these are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, 3, and here are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 observers, which are not here. So, yeah, in terms of quartz efficiency, it's definitely much worse. No, wait, this is a bit too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. Okay, 12 only. Doesn't matter. Like, it's much more than here. Much more than double of here. So, yeah. Yeah, and you can basically get something like that just by building 2 of these mirrored. I'll show you that also. Block it. Yeah. And now you basically have the same result as here. It also might be a bit more interesting if you have like a single dropper line. So you can, because here you would have to split it using, for example, a double chest. Like I can show you. You can simply do something like this and have your droppers face into. Yeah. So this is certainly an interesting option. These machines, probably not the most cheapest thing, but yeah, it works. And I also want to show it's actually reliable. To do it, like you can see, I have here iron trapdoors, and I have here Shulkerbox is full of redstone. I won't wait until they are filled up, just for demonstration. I will do this. You could have seen there only the box was ejected. Let's do it 5 times. And one more. As you can see, 5 boxes without any items flying around. Here you would either lose items, or they might even, in the worst case scenario, get sucked up by this hopper. It's quite uncommon, because this is quite a short time for the hopper to suck up to different items, but it might happen. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe, and if you have any possible improvements, feel free to comment down below. Bye!